Yo, peace and blessings, beautiful people.
Peace and blessings.
Yo, we're doing part 2 of the Thursday evening, just melting pot of the minds and all of that. We got Rivera in the house. He has many hats. He's a martial arts instructor, author, and also MC. Not rapper, MC.
That's right.
You know?
MC.
So
where I'm from, we call it an MC, Master of
Ceremony. And actually, that's a good segue, man. Talk about your beginnings from the Bronx, and then the Bronx to Connecticut.
Man, that's a long story, but I'm abbreviated it as much as possible. So I was born in the Bronx. I grew up on Decatur Avenue, which is uptown, like the last stop on the D train, 25th Street. And it was a very diverse area. So, like my man Self-Suffice was talking about LES being diverse, and this area was very diverse. There was Italians, there was Irish. It was a big Irish population. So it had gone through, a lot of people had come through the neighborhood and kind of, claimed their little areas or territories. But then it all became like all just one area of a melting pot. And so there was Italians, Irish, Jamaicans, Puerto Ricans. We had a big Albanian influx of people from Albania. Yeah, it was during the in the 80s. There was a big Albania was going through a crisis. It was a civil war.
Was it a part of the Cold War or
so? It was like refugees.
Got you.
Refugees from Albania. And then we had just the native New Yorkers that were there. But it was a big melting pot, you know what I mean?
Nice.
So it was a great area. I had a great childhood. I remember playing outside all the time, playing in the street all the time. I was always an active, physical type kid. And I played baseball, a lot of baseball. That was kind of what I gravitated to earlier as a child. Growing up, I played a lot of baseball in the streets and the parks.
So it was easy to say you were big on the Yankees because you're right there.
Big Yankee fan. Although a lot of my friends became Mets fans when the Mets were doing their thing in '86. Man, I was really young at that time, but a lot of my buddies jumped on the bandwagon, but I stood strong. Bronx Bombers all day.
Nice.
So, but yeah, big Yankee fan, and my parents were big boxing fans. So, on my mother's side, had some professional boxers, and also some professional ball players as well.
Like basketball.
No, baseball.
Baseball. Okay, got you. Yeah.
Not major leagues, minor league players, but still professional nonetheless.
Still earning that paycheck.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I learned a lot of athleticism from my uncle, Victor Sanchez, who rest in peace. He taught me baseball. He taught me a lot about boxing and how to defend myself in the street. And I had to kind of use those skills. I'm glad I had those skills growing up. It wasn't like out of the ordinary for kids to come out with boxing gloves and say who wants to go at it, and we would spar in the street, and there'd be like a circle of people forming around us, and we'd go at it one-on-one, like King of the Hill type.
Nice.
Yeah. So dude, that's the kind of environment I grew up, but also it was a lot of fun. We played a lot of games. Manhunt was a favorite. Kick the Can was another favorite. Skelzies. I don't know if you know what Skelzies is. But
I could imagine. No, explain to the audience what Skelzy is, man.
So Skelzies is, you basically take like a bottle top like this.
Yeah.
And you could fill it with like clay or something.
Okay.
And then you have boxes that you draw on the street with chalk.
Yeah.
And it's like almost like bocce. You know bocce? It's almost like that for the street. So you take the bottle tops and you knock them into the box.
Yeah.
And then someone else has to knock you out of the box. And that's how you win. You win by knocking other people out the box with the bottle top. So that was kind of in a nutshell what Skelzy was.
This is great because it's like you actually had to like be in the vibe, use your imagination, be out there. Now it's like everybody's on their phone or their tablet and they're just locked in.
Yeah.
They're just, in a sense, a zombie,
Right.
a breathing zombie.
Right.
You know.
Granted, we have video games too, but
don't take it back to Genesis. Sega Genesis, man.
Relapse.
Nintendo.
Oh man.
You might risk your life to be in the arcade.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the arcade was
That's
a big
serious.
thing. Yeah, putting quarters in those machines, man. That was a big thing. In the
It's like
shop.
the golden age of like Street Fighter and all that.
first
Like,
drop.
man.
Yeah, man. All that Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. People would play for money in the arcade for those games. If you had skills, you could earn a few dollars playing those games. You know?
Because I feel like there was a hustle everywhere in the Bronx. Like if you're good at something, there's a hustle for it. Like there's an earning for it. Yeah.
Right, for sure.
Oh man.
So from the Bronx, I ended up moving around, going to school a little bit, bounced around. Never was really. So I went to college in Florida at first.
Yeah.
That was a mistake. It was more about having fun than taking the books.
Yes.
So after one semester, I only did one semester, and then I just was like, I'm not gonna take it serious. So I ended up working, coming back to New York and working, and bounced around a few jobs, and then I was like, I gotta do something else besides just this bouncing around stuff. So I met somebody. Actually, I was getting into hip hop.
Yes.
And started emceeing and started, writing lyrics and going to a studio. And I met one of my boys, actually, the dude from LES that I met. His name is Fletch. Shout out to Big Fletch. He put me on a school. He was going to a community college, Durham Manhattan Community College.
Okay.
So
BMCC.
So I ended up going there, and at that point I took it serious. I was like, I gotta get my stuff together.
Yes.
I'm gonna go to school, get this degree, and move on with my life. So I ended up doing that. I ended up playing baseball, so I got back into baseball. That was a big incentive for me to actually take school serious as well, because you have to maintain certain grades in order to play.
Exactly.
So I got on the baseball team. I played 2 years there, and then I got recruited to go play up in Massachusetts at American International College.
They used to have the craziest part. But anyways, keep talking.
AIC, shout to AIC.
Yeah. Oh,
Almost
man.
in college. Animals in cages. I heard it all. So I went to school there. I actually ended up graduating from there. I played my final 2 years of college ball there.
Nice.
And then after that, I got a job up in Springfield. I was with my ex at the time. Was having a kid on the way, so I was like, I gotta take
Life
serious. So life got real serious at that point. And I ended up finding better work down in Connecticut. So I got the job down here in Connecticut, and
Nice.
I've been in Connecticut ever since 2003.
So the interesting thing about this journey is, okay, we got the hip hop part of it. We got, in a sense, the baseball, college, and all that, because in a sense, baseball was that key right there. But now you are a fighter, or you're teaching people self-defense. So how did you cross over to this realm?
So that's a great question. I got into fighting or martial arts when I was already an adult.
Yes.
Most kids get into it when they're kids.
Yeah.
I got into it as an adult because I was still somewhat in shape, but I was starting to get out of shape. I was smoking cigarettes at the time.
I can't imagine you smoking cigarettes.
I was smoking, yeah.
You're so disciplined, man.
So I was smoking cigarettes, I was boozing too much, was getting overweight. I was just like, I was not feeling myself,
Yeah.
So I started to get back into shape. I started to hit the gym, and I started to keep a discipline, like you said, routine of getting back in the gym. But I was like, this is boring. I can't work, like running on a treadmill was boring. Lifting weights all the time, that got boring.
Yeah.
I was used to sports. That's what kept me in shape.
Yes.
The physical, just being physical. So, like most males in my age group, we all saw Hoist do his thing in the UFC. And doing this thing called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I was like, let me check this out.
Hold on, say the name of the guy one more time.
His name is Royce. It's spelled Royce, R-O-Y-C-E, but Brazilians don't pronounce the R's.
Yeah.
So his name is Royce.
Royce.
Royce Gracie. Yeah.
Nice.
Royce Gracie. So I went into a martial arts gym here in Hartford, Underdog Mixed Martial Arts. I'm still there.
Nice.
And this was like 10, 11 years ago. Walked into the gym, tried it out. I fell in love. Fell in love with it immediately. It's been the hardest but most rewarding thing I've done. So
when you say the hardest, like more mentally or physically, or all together?
Both.
Okay.
Both, mentally and physically. Challenging because I got my butt kicked a lot, man. It humbles you. You think you can fight until you actually train to fight with people who know how to fight, do it for a living, and it's a different world. So it opened my eyes to something that has been a journey, and I'm never gonna learn it all, but that pursuit of mastery is still instilled in me. So I'm on that. I'm seeking perfection through martial arts, and it's helping me physically and it's helped me mentally. So 10 years later, I got my black belt. So that's how long it takes typically to get your black belt in this art.
I didn't know, like, it's different levels to it, but your journey was 10 years.
10 years.
And the thing is like, with all those years, basically every belt you appreciate whatever lesson that had to come about that, and this is why you got this calmness about you, because you appreciate it, you respect it, you love it, you know.
Yeah,
so
absolutely, I do love it.
Yeah.
I remember probably a few weeks into training, my instructor at the time asked me, "So, what do you think about this sport or art?" You know, and I was like, "I love it." And I think that's the answer he expected, because I've asked the same question of other people, and most of them say the same thing. Whether or not they stick with them is up to them. They stick with the art is up to them, but I think everybody who gets that bug has the love or the passion for it. So yeah, it takes a lot of dedication to get a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's not like other martial arts where there's forms and you get tested, you know, and you have to know these forms. This is an art where you're up against a resisting opponent every time you spar. Wow. So you are learning moves that work, but you're going against somebody who doesn't want them to work on them. So you have to apply these techniques efficiently. They have to be practical. So the art is a practical art, and the only way to get to the next level is to apply the art in a way where it's efficient and you're submitting opponents effectively. Wow. So it's
that's different.
It's a real martial art. It is a real martial art. So
you could show that form all day, but it's like, okay, you ready for the test now?
Right. And that's what I like about it. That's what I enjoy about it. That it's a real martial art. And even as a black belt, I know I still have to go to the gym and
sharpen the skills.
Keep sharpening my skills, because there's guys that I'm teaching, and I'm teaching these guys what I know, and then I know they're coming after me, and I have to stay on top of my game. But I like that. I like that pressure. I need that pressure in my life in order to continue to move forward.
And it's like a ultimate character builder, because you understand how strong you are. Because before, okay, I'm a strong dude, you know, I can handle whatever's coming to me. But now it's like being broken down in a mental sense. Is like, okay, I'm not the biggest, baddest, like in the room, but the thing is, with proper discipline and all that, I can be as great as I want to be. But it's the respect, the whole respect level of it. Absolutely. And something that we were talking about off air is just like, you know, with fighters that you know, take it as a profession seriously, a lot of times they don't want to, you know, be outside of the realm undisciplined. Like, you know, they don't want to fight like that, because they respect it so much for everything it's given them to their lives on a like mental, spiritual level. So it's like when your local punk is just like, yo, let's get it popping. You're in your head like, I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this. Because it's like, you have a different appreciation about life now. Because you're going against people that's on the street sometimes, especially if they had like a couple Hennies or Remy Martin, whatever is their poison of choice. Right. They thinking they're invincible, but the thing is, it's like, nah, dude, just chill.
Right.
Just chill. Just dialogue. Just talk.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, in the martial arts, you're going against other people that train martial arts when you're in the dojo.
Yeah.
In the street, you're 99% of the time somebody who's untrained.
Yes.
And it's basically like their ego doing the talking for you. So you get, no satisfaction out of doing anything to somebody like that. There's more satisfaction in walking away, knowing that you could if you wanted to, but you're not going to.
Say that again.
There's more satisfaction in walking away, knowing that you could if you wanted to, but you're not going to.
Yo, could I interject here?
Yes, you can.
All right. Suffice behind the camera, Seymour suffice. Yo, this is what I was saying about Jay, like, what me and him do in common, coming from a hip-hop background, but like, we're teaching something beyond what we're known for. Like, beyond it being fighting, beyond it being lyricism.
Yes.
That's a message. That's one of the things that I realize I'm trying to teach people that I'd be teaching if I was a photographer, chef, anything.
Yes.
That thing right there, because if you're dealing with addiction,
yes,
coming from a negative thing you want to let go, or if you're going towards a goal and realize you have to change a habit, even if it's not an addiction, that right there, because people are always like, oh, but that donut looks so good. Or like, oh, I want to hang out with this person, even though like every time we hang out, they shoot somebody or whatever. Like, whatever it is, once you can actually get that dopamine, you rewire your dopamine to get that pleasure from walking away from the thing. That's something y'all don't know about yet. When you get to a certain level of mastering your thing, you actually start to get pleasure from walking away from that thing. And like, if I do a track sampling you, it's gonna be what you said right there. Like, you put it into words so well. You know what I mean? So I just want to like put a stamp, put that in big bold, put the gold on it. Like,
it's
get
like
the same level of pleasure from walking away from it that you would get from thinking you get in the ego.
And this is like a level of enlightenment that most human beings don't reach. Not even if you're in some Buddhist temple in Indonesia, you're there, dude. You're there because it's like you could, but it's like, you know what? I feel better not doing this and just let this dude blabber, talk, and then probably like in 5 minutes he's about to throw up his Hennessy anyways. Right. You know, so that's gonna be like, why did I even do this? Now,
don't get me wrong, it wasn't always like this though.
Right. But the transformation,
it's hard to get there. It's easier said than done.
So I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. One of the things that I deal with is my temper. Like, I know I have a bad temper, but that has been calmed down a lot through jiu-jitsu, through martial arts, because it does you no good to be angry when you fight. Actually, in my book, I interviewed one of my fighters, one of my friends who's a fighter, professional mixed martial artist, Johnny Lopez. He's ranked the #1 flyweight in the Northeast.
Shout out to him.
And he said it perfectly. He said, anger is a chaotic mind. What does that tell you? Anger jumbles your mind.
Yes.
Why act out of anger? You can only act in a precise manner when you're calm. So that's what I get out of going to the dojo. I get the dopamine, I get the serotonin, all those good feel hormones dumped into my system when I'm sparring and training with people I'm going against that know how to fight as well. They know the art just like I know the art. It's just who can apply it better.
True.
And then at the end of the session, we get the camaraderie. Right, the oxytocin kicks in. So it's a phenomenal art. It's just a great community, and it's something that I'm healthily addicted to, I will say.
That's amazing, man. Yeah. That's amazing. And we're going to segue into the book now.
Okay.
So tell everybody about the book and, you know, when the timetable when they could get their hands on it and all that.
So the book is called Born to Brawl, Gaining a Fighter's Edge in Business and Life. And what I did was I interviewed some of today's top martial artists, because I'm tied into the martial arts community, obviously, through jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts in general.
And you know a lot of people from like Bellator and all that too.
Correct. So some of the fighters that I interviewed have fought in Bellator. They fought in the UFC.
Okay.
So, and then I have some people I've interviewed that are just world champions in jiu-jitsu. And what I did was I distilled 9 principles from these fighters that you can apply to your life right away to make yourself more successful and happier. And that's what I'm trying to do, help people through the martial arts. It's also what I do in my business, Fight Fit. But that's what I'm trying to do specifically through this book, is help people through martial arts. So it's not a book about teaching you how to fight. It's about teaching you the mindset of a fighter and how you can use that to help yourself achieve whatever goals you want to achieve.
The number 9, like it wasn't just like you stopped it at 9, or was like, how did that happen?
So I had 9 interviews, so that's how I came up with the 9. There's actually more principles, because each fighter has their own principles.
Yes.
But there's offshoots of those principles. So there's multiple principles per fighter. But there's 9 fighters, and each of them have something distinct to offer, but also they have a common thread. They all have a common thread. The one common thread that I can say right out is preparation. They all had preparation. Preparation is the number 1 thing that has helped them be successful in their fighting endeavors.
Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
That's right.
Oh my Lord.
And perfect practice makes perfect. Not perfect. Practice don't make perfect. It's perfect practice makes perfect.
Imperfect practice makes something else.
Imperfect.
Makes you need a practice room.
But this is
but it's called Born to Brawl.
Born to Brawl.
Let's zoom that in real quick.
Oh, that's fire.
Born to Brawl right there.
It shows that you're fighting not just when you're in the ring.
Yes.
I get it.
Yes.
I get it.
So, right, fighting is a metaphor for life.
Yes.
Right? We all have a fight. We all struggle. We all have adversity we have to deal with. So this book is designed to give you some tools to deal with that adversity.
Nice.
The book will be released November 3rd.
Nice.
It'll be available on Amazon and Kindle. I'm developing a website for the book. The website is julianriverabooks.com. And it should be available through links on that website as well.
Nice.
Yeah. So looking forward to getting that book out there and helping the world.
Everybody that's listening on YouTube and SoundCloud and other streaming, get this man's book when it comes out. Seriously, get the book
already.
Yes, because
regardless of what you do,
it's mental food. You need this, because without good food, we ain't gonna live. Right. So this is like, your mind needs good nurturements and all of that. It needs good energy. It needs good thoughts. It needs the 9 principles. Seriously.
So I'm a big reader. I'm an avid reader. I read a lot. And reading has changed my life. So I did the college thing. My degree wasn't the reason, ended up not being the reason I went to college in hindsight, because I'm not doing anything associated to my degree, as a lot of people are. What it is the ability to start something and finish it.
Yes.
And the social networks that you make, and also it's like a little kind of a rite of passage, right, from adolescence to adulthood, that transfer of responsibilities where you're on your own. But I don't stop learning. I didn't stop learning in college. I'll never stop learning. I'll always continue to learn. I'm a life learner. So that's why I read a lot, because I feel like all the knowledge is in books. That's where that's the easiest place to find information pertaining to whatever goals you want to achieve. So I'm in my car, I'm listening to audiobooks, I read books at night, I'm always reading. I'm always reading. So as a reader, I think people will enjoy this book. It's not going to be a long read. You'll get some stories. It'll provide some entertainment, and I think it'll provide, like you said, some mental knowledge, some mental food, and valuable information that people can use right away. That's why I want people to be able to apply these techniques right away, because I think they're simple enough to apply right away.
And honestly, like it's you broke it down to the science, to the point that if they have the ambition, they can easily just follow everything that's going on and whatnot.
Right.
And this, I'm ready for it. Said November 3rd.
November 3rd.
November 3rd, I'm ready. And it's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So
I'm all about, going back to what Self Suffice was saying about, helping our people, right? Helping our brown and black people out there. I'm all about self-empowerment and financial freedom.
yes.
And I think it has to be done from within, right? So we have to build our own communities. We have to build our economics to where we're self-sufficient. And how do we do that? We have to have the knowledge and goals
The
and
proper
ambition to do
education,
that,
yeah,
proper
man.
education. So I've been in the sales world. I'm a salesperson. I've won the top sales awards that people can win. So I've done that knowing that I know what it takes to succeed in that corporate world. I'm also an entrepreneur. So I know what it takes to succeed in that. I'm a martial artist. I got my black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is one of the hardest martial arts to get your black belt in. So it all takes hard work. You can do whatever you want.
Yes.
Doesn't matter.
Could I ask you on that same line?
Sure.
Because you have that experience and you using Amazon. Do you recommend Amazon from a business perspective, or like what do you represent? Do you recommend online books in general, physical books, or companies? Like, what? I'm curious. What's your whole thought process? How did you choose how you was going to distribute it?
So like you, I want to be in control of my product as much as possible.
Yeah.
I feel like Amazon gives me the most control.
Okay.
That's why I chose Amazon.
Gotcha. You don't have like a publisher to answer to or something like that.
Right.
Okay. Gotcha.
Right.
Understood.
And self-publishing is it's a very fast-growing segment of publishing. There's actually publishers out there like Random House that are trying to get into self-publishing. Like you can self-publish through them. You know what I mean? But yeah, Amazon I believe has the best platform to give you the most control over your product right now.
And then you already got sales awards, so you're gonna, because some people also they don't sell for themselves, so that's why they go to publish. But you gonna
read this book. It'll tell you that we're all selling something.
Okay.
No matter what, we're all selling something. If I have a product that I want to get out there, I have to sell it. If I want to get a date, I have to sell myself. We're all selling something all the time. Anytime a human interaction, back and forth interaction, we're all selling something. So, the stigma that comes with being called a salesperson, you shouldn't think of it that way. Think of it as providing a service that people need. You have to embrace it, because how else would things get out there? Sales is the engine that drives business. It has to be sold in order for people to get benefit.
The proper pitch, and also know your audience, because there's certain audience they want a certain thing, and there's a certain audience they need something else. So it's like, in a sense, actually it's more the needs. It's really the needs.
What you do as an interviewer is very similar to what I would do as a salesperson. Ask good questions, because then you find out a need. You don't know the need until you ask.
True. Very true.
So when you find the need and you have something that you feel that can fulfill that need, you've just made a sale.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's crazy. Because when you think about the salespeople you hate, they're the people that are just, you feel like they're just giving you something without knowing who you are, right?
Or they're just spewing out stuff,
Because you broke that down so perfectly.
It's listening. It's just, you ask the right questions, and a lot of times when you're asking questions, people will tell you, even inadvertently, what they're looking for, what they need, and all that. Because there's sometimes, this reminds me of back when I was working at the Best Buy in somewhat Connecticut. I'll just say somewhat Connecticut. And I was a Samsung rep. And I just would just start random conversations because a lot of times the big boss man be like, hey, sell these Galaxies, da-da-da. But it's like, if they don't need the big flagship Galaxy, we have other things that they could, buy and whatnot, like, the prepaid Galaxy. Because a lot of times there's some people that they just want communication. Right. So they don't want to spend $800 for communication when they could just spend $125 for communication. Right. So, and in that sense, while you're stressing about that big fish, boom, they could get the $125 for their communication. They could get a nice case, get some headphones. Like, you add on. Right. Instead of going for that one big home run, you go to first base, second base, then you find your way home. And that's it.
And then that person's gonna tell somebody else.
Yes.
And then you got another customer.
You know what's crazy, dude? Working in retail actually helped me with DJing too and building an audience because it's like off of the energy and just me paying attention to people. Yeah. It's like, okay, he paid attention to me at Best Buy. Let's see how he is at the party, the karaoke, the whatever, and it translates. You gotta figure out your audience and what they need.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. It's all the same.
Yeah, I'm so glad I stayed.
This is a revelation,
late,
man.
But I'm definitely a fan.
Suffice. Peace and blessings.
My man.
You could count me on your on the book sales.
And big shout out to Michelle B on the ones and twos.
Tell me on the song. I'm gonna play your song.
Thank you.
For sure, man.
Thank you. And we probably gonna end up doing the song.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Oh, it's right there, Suffice. Peace and blessings, my brother. Yeah, that was Self-Suffice in the background. Let everybody know your social media information where they can contact you.
So you can reach me on Instagram, FightFit1 on Instagram, Facebook, Fit to Fight on Facebook, and the website's coming, JulianRiveraBooks.com. So those are the social media platforms you can reach me on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And dude, let's honestly.
And November 3rd on Amazon and Kindle.
I'll say it's in November. Actually, that week it comes out that Tuesday. I'll say that Thursday, come back over here. We'll talk about it, and we'll just have the physical copy there too.
Let's do it.
So let's do it, man. Let's keep building.
All right.
Peace and blessings, and we're gonna end off with your tracks. And you got a track on Spotify too that they could follow you on.
Yeah. So the track on Spotify is called "Put You to Rest." It's a fight song I did for one of the fighters I actually interviewed for the book, Matt Bissett. Okay. He's a local MMA fighter. He has a pretty good following here in the Northeast. Nice. He's fought in the UFC. I did a song for him. It's called "Put You to Rest."
Put You to Rest.
Yeah, you can see it on Spotify. Available on Spotify, iTunes.
Nice.
Yo. Put You to Rest.
Put You to Rest. Yo. The rap name one more time before I mess it up.
So the rap name is Paradox BX.
Yes.
And Paradox BX. Those are social media platforms. You can see YouTube, Paradox Space BX, SoundCloud, Paradox Space BX, and on Facebook, same thing, Paradox BX.
Dude, it's been a blessing to have you here. You're a jack of all different types of trades. Like, you're doing everything, so continue to do everything, my brother. And we're just going to end off the podcast with your tracks, and we're just going to blast it a little bit.
Let's go.
All
right. You want to introduce this track?
So this is a song I did. It's called "Keep It in Perspective." I haven't posted this, so this is exclusive.
Yes.
Exclusive to the podcast, the DJ B Easy podcast,
the Mix Up podcast.
The Mix Up podcast.
Michelle B's on the ones and twos.
Michelle is on the ones and twos, playing this track, playing hot tracks all the time. The whole time she's kept me going throughout the whole podcast with the songs in the background, keeping my head nodded and keeping the vibe going positive.
The hip hop, man. The hip hop, the holy hip hop, man.
Yeah, and DJ Be Easy has a show, right? With, you still run the show.
So pretty much we're taking
Fridays?
we're taking a break from that because of what's going on right now.
Okay,
and this in a sense,
this is replacing that.
This is replacing that for right now.
Okay.
But actually, I think this is gonna just be something I'm gonna continue doing.
Okay.
With other shows.
All right.
With other platforms. So this has been.
So look for the Mix Up podcast.
Yes.
Going forward to be a continuous thing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And we're gonna keep building it and just keep getting better every week.
Of course.
So
That's how we do, man.
So I'm about to just sign off the video, but we're gonna let the track keep going. Actually, one more time.
So
this next track, yeah.
This is another Paradox track. This is called My City. This song, you can find it on YouTube.
Yes.
Paradox space BX, Paradox BX on YouTube. My City.
This beat, this knocking.
Thanks, man.
Yes, I'm telling you guys, hip hop, Bronx, the home of hip hop is in my home right now. Blessings, man.
Yeah, Bronx, the birthplace of hip hop. You know, we got a shout out to KRS-One.
I didn't get to it on my playlist. South Bronx was coming up.
Okay.
Nice.
Next time, we started off with that.
Right. So man, we're gonna keep this
Thanks
rolling.
for having me on, man.
Yes, sir. And everybody that's tuned in on YouTube, IGTV, SoundCloud, we're gonna keep doing amazing interviews like this, and just stay tuned. Peace and blessings, y'all.